Oh man, senior's going now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Wanted to bring you on in for a project we've had going since yesterday. Yesterday was Father's Day, and here on the Squatch Ranch, we don't spend money on cards and such. The most valuable commodity I have is my time. So, in celebration of Father's Day, he got 12 hours of hard manual labor out of me yesterday. He decided, being that these birch trees are so close to the garden plot, we'd been seeing more and more roots encroaching under the fence and taking nutrients out of the garden plot and water. So he decided, let's take these out. Plus they'd suffered some pretty good top damage from the storm last winter, and they were just getting past their prime anyhow. So there was 4 of them here. A single one we took out right away, and then this big stump was a triple trunk. We cut the first 2 off because they leaned that way, and then we ended up digging around the stump with the Kubota L4701 with the BH92 backhoe, and we were able to pull it all the way over what was left of it. So this morning I came out here and scratched as much dirt out of the root system as I could to lighten it up. We then used that to backfill the area behind the stump, so we're getting ready to section it off into logs, and then when the stump rolls back, we'll have it on high ground. It won't be in a humongous hole that we need to try and fight it out of.
Okay, plan of action here. First thing we did, put a bunch of short pieces of limb and stuff underneath, keep this off the ground, so when we cut this off into sections, hopefully keep the dirt off. This is mid-June. A lot of times this is the time you can peel popple. Bark slips off real good. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a slot the whole length of this, and we'll see if that bark peels off to the side. So let's see what happens here. See if we can split that. No. Okay, here is where it should be splitting, right in between the cambium layer and there. Once you get it started, they'll usually go pretty good. Trick is getting the layers you need. Tell you what, we did some yesterday. Let's go down and have a look and see what we did yesterday. This here sat overnight. Possibly it isn't going to do like it did yesterday. So
plus it got rained on last night too.
Yeah, let's go check out this other stuff. Okay, here's some of the stuff we did yesterday. I mean, as soon as we cut the tree down, we split them. You can see our line right here.
And it was starting to do this right away.
Yep, and right away this thing was starting to peel off just like this. We expected that other one to do that, but maybe sitting overnight it didn't do it, I don't know. And here you can see the cambium layer come up there. And here's our piece of bark there. So that's the way they come off in sheets. Here's another sheet that I took off the outside of this one. Some really neat patterns where some old knots and stuff were in there. So anyway, I'm pretty sure that's the way our Native Americans did it for their birch bark canoe. Right time of year you can peel it, and they say that if you do this right, it doesn't hurt the tree, it'll rebark itself.
Yeah, if you can leave enough of this layer intact,
yep,
and don't expose the trunk, then the tree will be just fine.
So anybody else got comments on that, that's fine. That's what I'm assuming it is from what I've read and stuff. So anyway, that's what we're trying to do up there, and it worked good yesterday. A day later, didn't work quite so good.
We didn't have the camera on yesterday.
No.
That's when it always works.
Yeah, it always works better when you're not filming.
We're expecting that trunk to rotate that way once he gets cut through. It's starting to move. Perfect. He wanted the Y left on the end of that one because he's going to take that through the band mill and see what kind of a grain pattern you can get out of it.
Okay, we started slitting these. Generally what we do, we even slit our firewood. That helps that bark peel away and dry. It doesn't, if we gotta let it set for a while, it doesn't get so bad inside. So you can see where we split this one.
Started peeling just like they did yesterday.
So we've got a couple bigger ones. We'll give them a try and see what happens.
See, hear it?
I hear it popping.
That's what they were doing yesterday. They'd split open right on their own.
Yep, see that?
That's the kind of separation you want.
Yep, just like that. Here's one split. Let's see what we got here.
And if we let them sit out in the sun,
yeah, see that?
If we let them sit out in the sun, they'll eventually just peel on their own.
Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of the method. It seems to be working now. I don't know if it works on the smaller stuff better than the bigger stuff. But yeah, she's popping right apart.
We have the rest of the trunk, firewood, and everything else cleaned up. Senior brought out the Super M. We're going to see if we can use that to get this stump rolled up onto the backfilled area. This tractor hasn't seen a whole lot of action since, last fall, out disking on the field. Nice to have it out again. We're rigged to pull. Let's see what happens. Yep, before we dig holes. I think he's probably going to shut it off and lock the brake right there. That's going to keep this upright so that we can get the Kubota in here and we can backfill under this side so it can't rock back in. Packing it in. We're getting a better base behind it now. Super M was digging pretty hard, but we weren't hooked in an ideal manner to get much of a roll on it. We got it upside down anyway. We can at least...
It's heavy.
It is, it's very heavy. We can at least finish filling that hole. I can pull a lot more dirt off the bottom of it, which is going to lighten it up by a few hundred more pounds anyhow, but a little bit of yard repair to do. When the Super M wants to go, it wants to go. And with the stump rolled further out of the way, Senior's finishing up with the backfill. We are going to end up spreading some fresh topsoil on here eventually, but we want to let it settle in a little bit. He's going to pack it in well with the tractor and let it get rained on a couple times first, and then we'll do all that. But it's starting to look pretty good again. Well, Senior's climbed off of the tractor. What do you think? I think it's pretty good out here.
Looks better than it was yesterday evening when we could.
Yeah, we had a heck of a hole in here yesterday, and we've scratched about all the dirt that we can get out of the stump too, and that lightens it up quite a bit, and it lends itself to fill. So yeah, a little bit of topsoil we'll have to spread out there yet, but for the most part, not bad. So
didn't have to haul any extra fill in. We had plenty.
Next question is, you stand next to that thing so we can see. It's a big stump. What are we going to do with that? I mean, is that a torque monster stump, or you think we can get a D2 out and push it?
Well, we might try a D2, but we might end up with a torque monster.
Depends on what happens. You were kind of talking about maybe it might find a new home down in that hollow down there, yeah. Maybe.
We dragged that across the yard, and we're going to have a...
We're going to have to fix the whole yard. So, well, this has been Father's Day 2023. There's your card. Happy Father's Day.
He promised me one day. I got 2 days out of him.
He got 2 days, so that's all right. It's getting hot. I think we're about to quit out here and probably go back into the shop and finish out the rest of the day in there. Thank you for watching, everyone. More adventures to come.